Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Manish Shrestha from Haryana School of Business, GJ University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Today we are going to talk on the module Purpose of Business Reports and its type. It is from the paper Business Communication. First have a look on the learning objectives of this particular topic. First objective is to understand the meaning and purpose of a business report, followed by to know the various types of business reports. Now, let's try to understand why we require reports. Writing an effective business report is one of the most sought after skill in the corporate sector. Every organization requires information for decision making. Importance of such information further increases if the decision is strategic in nature and posing long-term impact on the well-being of the organization. In such situations, a business report is generally prepared for providing accurate, specific, concise, and unbiased information. A business report is explained as a document prepared to cater to the information related requirements of a precise audience and acts as an aid to decision making. All the information presented in a business report strives to fulfill an identified objective. Every report possesses few characteristics such as in a report, facts or evidences or information is presented. All the information presented in a report is unbiased. In a report, information is presented for a specific audience. A report is generally presented in a structured form. It mentions the way of collection of data. It specifically highlights the observations of the author. At the end of a report, concluding remarks are given. And finally, it includes recommendation pertaining to the objective of report. A good report always carries an in-depth analysis of the problem at hand. It steers the reader through understanding the problem, the way required data is identified and acquired, understanding the analysis, and the basis on which conclusions are drawn, and finally, the reason behind the mentioned recommendations. Reports are being used by all types of organizations such as business, government, professionals, and not-for-profit organizations. The importance of a report increases with an increase in the scale of the organization. A report also provides an opportunity to keep a check on the happenings in and outside of an organization. Overall, it can be stated that a business report offers actual and fact-based information in structured form to the persons concerned that enables them to take an informed decisions for managing an issue at hand. Now let's see the purpose and audience of business reports. In order to identify the purpose of a report, it is always relevant to answer the question, why? Why I am writing a report? Fundamental purpose of business report is to assist in decision making. As reports are meant to assist, the clarity about the aim of a report is utmost important. One of the indications in this regard is to identify the expectations of the management requesting a report. A report can serve a wide range of purposes from simply conveying information, providing actual solutions, assisting in future planning, understanding a business model, etc. Another view of understanding the purpose of a report is to check whether you are expected to provide information only or your evaluation. While information is limited to present the findings only, evaluation covers conclusion and suggestions. In other words, it is important to understand whether the requirement from the report is to get information only, that is, compiling secondary information, or to gather information and provide an interpretation, that is, consumer surveys, or to present suggestions along with the information and analysis, that is, through feasibility reports and troubleshooting reports. A report falling in last category has the broadest scope and is most elaborative. These reports generally end with a number of feasible solutions along with pros and cons of each. Purpose of a report should be specific, as too broad or vague purpose makes a report worthless. Once the writer got the clarity about the purpose, it is also important to know about the audience of the report. The purpose and the audience will guide about the degree of formality, structure, and the most suitable type for a report. An audience analysis tells more about the intended readers of a report. Generally, a business report is intended for multiple audiences, and report writer has to keep each and every audience in mind before drafting a report. While formulating a report, a writer has to consider various characteristics of target readers, such as awareness about the issue of report, educational background, hierarchical position, decision-making power, responsibility and authority, and time pressure for taking a decision. To avoid any mistakes, it is suggested to classify your audience on the basis of relevance of report to them. Let's see the classification of audience. There are broadly three classes of audience, that is, primary audience, secondary audience, and immediate audience. First, try to understand primary audience. Primary audience includes all the people who have to take a decision on the basis of information provided in the report. Secondary audience includes all the people who are at the receiving end of the actions taken by the above group. Secondary audience are the gainers or losers of the outcome of a business report and the decision based on it. While immediate audience includes all the people who have the responsibility to evaluate the report and disseminate it to the larger relevant audience. It is further relevant to reiterate that an understanding of audience expectation is an advantage for report writing. It directs about the weightage for picture and text, complexity of report, need for elaboration, usage of technical terms, etc. Overall, it can be stated that the knowledge of audience helps the writer in shaping the purpose and structure of a report. It is further relevant to reiterate that an understanding of audience expectation is an advantage for report writing. It directs about the weightage for pictures and text, complexity of report, need for elaboration, usage of technical terms, etc. Overall, it can be stated that the knowledge of audience helps the writer in shaping the purpose and structure of a report. A report can be classified on various bases. For example, on the mode of communication, a report can be classified as oral and written. On the basis of purpose, we can classify a report as informational and analytical. On the basis of formality, we can classify as formal and informal. And on the basis of length, we can say a report can be a short report or a long report. Under oral versus written, An oral report involves face-to-face communication and possesses all the characteristics of oral communication. Contrary to oral report, a written report uses printed format and could be stored as a permanent record. A report that conveys only information is considered as an informational report. On the other hand, a report that persuades the readers and helps in drawing a conclusion is known as analytical report. Formal reports possesses characteristics like following a standard and structured format, special emphasis on language used, detailing, and used for internal as well as external circulation. On the other hand, informal reports uses letter-like format, less structured, put little emphasis on formality of language used. These are crisp and short and generally meant for internal circulation. A short report is also considered as a memo report. It can range from few paragraphs to up to 5 pages, having few headings and subheadings, and less weightage is given to graphics. A long report can range up to hundreds of pages and carries lot of sections with headings and subheadings. As these reports are lengthy, there is an ample scope for detailing of text and graphics. There are various types of reports, such as progress reports, periodic reports, compliance reports, recommendation reports, trip and contact reports, annual confidential reports, inspection reports, and letter reports. Let's consider each of the report one by one. A progress report. A progress report are created to show the progress and accomplishments in an assignment at a given point of time. It updates the reader about the status of task assigned till the date of submission of report. Such reports are helpful to management in deciding whether the project is heading towards the right direction. It also guides people concerned to have an idea about what has been done and how much is remaining. That helps them in planning the future activities. Such report specifically mentions the task assigned, work in progress, future course of action, and expected date of completion of project. Let's look at a sample template showing a progress report. Here it is mentioned for whom the report is meant for, who is the project manager, what is the project objective. Then it is important to give a project progress summary. For example, it is a brief statement of project performance not covered in the remainder of the report. Describe the project progress towards meeting its target outcomes during this reporting period, and anecdotal information may be provided here. Then, as a subpart, milestones can be mentioned. This section should reflect any relevant high-level milestones listed in the business plan, as well as major milestones and achievements from the project work plan. Baseline dates are those outlined in project business plan or other core document. Here, table 1 is showing milestones scheduled for achievement since last report and performance against those milestones. Then you can also show in table 2 impact of achievement or non-achievement of milestones for the remaining period of the project. Similarly, in table 3 you can show milestones scheduled for achievement over the next reporting period and changes to those milestones with respect to the previous plan. Next type of report is a periodic report. As the name suggests, a periodic report is concerned with the frequency of preparation of a report. The frequency may be weekly, quarterly, annually, or any other regular period. Many times, departments in the organization need information on a regular basis to analyze and plan for future. These reports are more popular with those companies having subsidiaries at different geographical locations. A periodic report provides information regarding the latest performances of all the subsidiaries to plan for strategic decisions. A periodic report, like annual report, is a popular document at most of the organizations. Then there is a compliance report. Such reports are prepared for disclosing whether the organization is abiding by the laws laid down by various statutory bodies. In such reports, the organizations have to present data indicating procedures followed and their outcome. While preparing a compliance report, the correctness of the data has to be emphasized. Let's look at an example of a compliance report. These are few of the headings of a compliance report. For example, billing compliance, financial audits, and contract review. Here you can mention and list and identify all billing reviews, financial audits, contract compliance monitoring that took place during the reporting period. This should include all internal and external reviews. This section should also provide a summary of findings of each review, both positive and negative of concern. It should also describe action the agency is taking to resolve any negative finding or deficiency or the concern. Under the heading Licensing, Accreditation, and Safety Reviews, the section should provide a list of any and all licensing and accreditation reviews as well as safety inspections that occurred during the reporting period. Then the heading Compliance Violation. This section specifically highlights and compliance violation that have occurred during the reporting period. Also described what action have been or are being taken to bring the agency back into compliance. Next type of report is recommendation report. A recommendation report falls in the category of analytical report wherein an action related to the issue is desired. This action or recommendation can be in the form of changing the present strategy or maintaining the status quo. A recommendation report provides a background of the issue, findings, and recommendations. Let's look at a sample of a recommendation report. Here, the recommendation actions in response to the findings are presented. Management recognized that during project preparation and appraisal, greater rigor in the application of safeguard standards should have been ensured in light of the special circumstances of this project. Specifically, A. More should have been done to ensure the confidentiality and integrity of the consultative process. B. More could have been done to ensure that there was greater involvement of project affected people, including indigenous group, in the project design. C. A more thorough environmental analysis would have improved project preparation. D. Documentation on the part of the bank should have been better. And E. Information on the project should have been disclosed more promptly. Now let's take a look at the trip and contact reports. Trip and contact reports fall in the category of informational reports. Preparation of these reports is not a fixed feature. Such reports are prepared as and when the situation arises. Whenever employees of the company visit the client or any other stakeholder, these reports need to be generated. These reports generally mention the itinerary of the trip, persons contacted, and a summary of all decisions and discussions. One of the purposes of such reports is to inform the management about the value addition and worth of such trips or contacts. As a sample, let's look at it. A report which mentions various subheading, for example, overview of event, why did I choose to attend, what session did I find most valuable, what networking events were beneficial. Under the heading overview of the event, OR Manager Conference 2016 was held at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The focus of this conference is improving efficiency and effectivity, and had sessions that focus on patient safety, infection control, efficiency of the OR, staff motivation, and leadership. The conference was structured into 3 days. The first day featured all-day workshop seminars. The remaining 2 days featured breakout sessions and 4 keynote sessions. There was a networking reception on the first day and networking breaks in the exhibit hall throughout the conference. All sessions were led by experts and offered ample time for questions at the end of each session. Under the heading Why Did I Choose to Attend? OR Manager Conference is the premier executive level conference for OR directors, OR business managers, and other concerned with management of the surgical suite, and is dedicated to providing solutions and best practices for managing the surgical suite. What session did I find most valuable? During the conference, I was able to attend numerous sessions and I was able to focus on topics that directly relate to my position at this facility and find solutions for ongoing projects. Under the heading What networking events were beneficial? While at OR Manager Conference, I was able to attend an evening networking reception. The first networking event was a welcome reception open to everyone at OR Manager Conference. This followed the first opportunity to visit the vendors, speakers, and other attendees. So we have seen that overall we have to justify our trip or attending an event under the trip and contact report. Here is the sample of annual confidential report. As we can see in the slide, there is a particular format for an annual confidential report. For example, it specifies name of the employee, designation, employee code, date of joining, department, nature of work handled by the employee. Then there is a table in which the reviewer has to take the observation about the employee on the given criteria. Criteria can be anything that is decided by the reviewer. Just an example, we have taken 6 criteria. First is punctuality, integrity, leadership, relationships, performance, and last one is motivation. The reporting officer has to rate the employee on a rating scale from excellent to below average. Then there is a column for general observation, followed by other remarks. At the end, the reporting officer has to put the signature and write the designation along with the date and place. Next kind of report is inspection report. Inspection reports are prepared for 2 purposes, namely inspection for reporting functional issue and inspection for reporting quality issues. Most of the organizations, especially manufacturing companies, are highly interested in the inspection reports. An inspection report is prepared after examining the equipment and checking whether everything is functioning properly or not. If any damage is identified, then it is reported along with the requirement of repair or replacement. Other instance when an inspection report is prepared is for reporting product quality control. The inspector checks whether all the products are manufactured as per the standards and specification. If any variation is noticed, it has to be reported in the inspection report. Then there are letter reports. A report presented in a letter format is considered as a letter report. It is another type of short report. Such kind of reports is used to send information to the stakeholders present outside the organization. In a letter report, all the guidelines of formal business letter writing are followed. Letter report serves various purposes, like it helps in providing information to the reader about the happenings at research and development department, and it also helps in presenting facts after investigation of a problem. Now let's consider what is a business proposal. Many times business proposals are considered as special kind of business report, although there exists a fundamental difference between the two. A business proposal aims at persuading the receiver. A proposal writer has a vested interest and they expect the receiver of the proposal to act in a desired manner. Just like reports, there are many kinds of proposals such as internal or external proposal, solicited or unsolicited proposals. An internal proposal helps you in internally obtaining all the things you require to do your work. It might be a proposal for computer, stationery, equipment, usage of laboratory, etc. On the other hand, external proposals are prepared to obtain resources from outside agency. It might be in the form of funding for a project, technical consultancy, usage of infrastructure, etc. A solicited proposal is prepared when it is asked for. Generally, such kind of proposals are invited to work on a specific area of specialization, development of a system, fulfillment of goals, etc. Basically, solicited proposals are invited proposals. On the contrary, unsolicited proposals are voluntary and no invitation is made to seek such proposals. So students, let's summarize what we have learned in this module. A business report is generally prepared for providing accurate, specific, concise, and unbiased information. A business report is explained as a document prepared to cater to the information related requirements of a precise audience and acts as an aid to decision making. All the information presented in a business report strives to fulfill an identified objective. A good report always carries an in-depth analysis of the problem at hand. It steers the reader through understanding the problem, the way required data is identified and acquired, understanding the analysis and the basis on which conclusions are drawn, and finally, the reasons behind the mentioned recommendations. Reports are being used by all types of organizations such as business, government, professionals, and not for profit organizations. The importance of a report increases with an increase in the scale of the organization. Fundamental purpose of a business report is to assist in decision making. As reports are meant to assist, the clarity about the aim of a report is utmost important. A report can serve a wide range of purposes from simply conveying information to providing actual solution, assisting in future planning, understanding a business model, etc. Overall, it can be stated that a business report offers actual and fact-based information in structured form to the persons concerned. That enables them to take an informed decision for managing an issue at hand. There are various ways to classify reports. One of the most common bases for classifying a report is mode of communication. A report can be written or oral. A report that conveys only information is considered as an informational report. On the other hand, a report that persuades the reader about and helping in drawing a conclusion is known as analytical report. We can also classify a report on the basis of formality like formal and informal reports, on the basis of length like long and short reports. A business proposal is different from a report. It aims at persuading the receiver. A proposal writer has a vested interest and they expect the receiver of the proposal to act in desired manner. Thank you.